Are you in reciprocal relationships or do you have reciprocity in your life? One definition of reciprocity is the practice of exchanging things with others for mutual benefits, especially privileges granted by one country or organization to another, or interpersonal dynamics. I think it's so important to have reciprocal relationships, but when it comes down to interpersonal dynamics, to understand that there won't always be 50-50. I know we have a propensity to expect 50-50 in relationships, romantic relationships, or friendships, or familial dynamics. But it's so important to know that we as humans, we literally cannot do 50-50 at all times. There are times where it's going to be 60-40, 70-30, 80-20. There's some times where it's even going to feel like 99-1. Okay, depending on what's going on in someone's life. I think about it like, let's say a pregnant mom, or a new mom, right? That's not a 50-50 relationship, right? Think about siblings that may be close to a 50-50 relationships. In a romantic relationship, you may potentially have a 50-50 relationship, or more likely than not, you will not have a 50-50 relationship. In a woman's cycle, you couldn't even have a 50-50 relationship. If she's on her period, the man literally has to have pour more energy than she can. She's physiologically disadvantaged in that moment. So it's just, I think when it comes down to reciprocity, people need to evaluate the whole of a relationship or interpersonal dynamic to determine if you're actually having a reciprocal relationship. Evaluate the whole instead of just evaluating parts of a relationship, right? And if the whole is only 3 months, think about it. Was there reciprocity within those 3 months? If it was a year, was there reciprocity within that year? And be fair. Like, really look at things with justice, like hold things in a balance, right? Like, if a person has been ill, they're not able to give you reciprocity to the degree that you need. But if you are a giver and you're only surrounded by takers, then it's important to recognize that you are not, in fact, in a reciprocal relationship, and it's time to remove yourself. Because as you pour into others, you want people to pour into you too, right? And you don't want to pour from an empty cup. And if you're just giving, and never receiving, you're pouring from an empty cup. And you want to pour from an overflow. That's really what you want to do. So I think it's so important to evaluate, are you in reciprocal relationships? Because that really fuels better connections. It fuels self-confidence, right? Because if you have self-confidence, in that way you're able to do more, right? When you feel reciprocity, when you feel sort of appreciated, because pouring into others shows how much you're appreciated as well, right? So this was really in my heart of thinking about reciprocity, and to think that we really have to be fair in how we judge reciprocal relationships, and understand if we actually have the capacity to pour into, or to give and to receive in fairness. What are your thoughts?